milestone for the government of the Republic of Zambia and for Copperbelt Energy Corporation as well. Allow me to just recognize the presence of our Honourable Minister of Green Economy and Environment and our Permanent Secretary and all government officials present. My name is Verona Nkolola and I will be running through this morning's program. And as I mentioned earlier, today is a very significant day for ourselves and for the government of the Republic of Zambia. I think from the earlier discussions this morning, we were listening to the importance of an integrated approach to managing climate change, the involvement of communities, of the government and of the private sector. And we believe what is just about to happen this morning is a demonstration of public sector and private sector partnership to drive the mitigation of climate change. So without further ado, I would like to invite our Managing Director, Mr. Owen Silaro, to give his remarks for this morning. You'll notice that I've not mentioned what we're here to do. I will allow our Managing Director to make that announcement this morning. Mr. Silaro.
And a warm good morning to all of you, ladies and gentlemen. Honourable Minister, great to have you here this morning. Permanent Secretary, great to have you here this morning. My name is Owen Silaro, the Managing Director, CEO of Copperbelt Energy Corporation. Allow me to start by saying it's been long coming. We are very, very proud and indeed honored to be doing this right here at COP 28. This is a big milestone for Zambia, a big milestone for Zambians, and a big milestone for CEC. Today, we humbly requested our Honourable Minister to come and officially launch the successful expression of a 200 million green bond. This is a first for Zambia, and I think it's going to demonstrate what is possible when we partner as private sector with the government, when we partner with the people of Zambia, when we partner with the local communities, what is possible to achieve. The purpose of this green bond, ladies and gentlemen, is to make a contribution with respect to green development, the driving towards achieving sustainable development within the energy sector. And from a CEC perspective, what this basically means is that we want to make a contribution in terms of building out renewable projects. And we started this journey, allow me to give a very brief history, about 5 years ago. So 5 years ago, we commissioned a 1 megawatt solar project. At the beginning of this year, in February, we commissioned a 34 megawatt solar PV project, and at the end of this year, we'll be commissioning a 60 megawatt solar project. So we are talking about a 200 million green bond, and the purpose of this is to be able to build out 200 megawatts of solar PV projects. From our perspective, this is a clear demonstration of how the private sector can drive and facilitate energy transition, and if you will, just energy transition. I believe CEC is clearly demonstrating that as private sector, we can play a critical role in catalyzing and playing that agency of change with respect to sustainability as well as social equity. So what you will see is that we're not just partnering with government, we're actually partnering with the local community. So we've been able to engage and involve the local community in our projects. We've been able to work with the government, the Ministry of Green Economy and Environment. We've been able to work with the Ministry of Energy. We have been able to work, ladies and gentlemen, with the regulators. The SEC themselves are here today, and we've worked very well. They have really supported us very well until we've reached this milestone that we're launching today. We have worked with ZEMA, the environmental agency in Zambia. We have worked with the Energy Regulation Board in Zambia, and indeed, we have been able to work with other partners, other utilities, including ZESCO themselves in Zambia. And I think this is a clear demonstration that if we work together, there are a lot of things that we can achieve. So suffice for me to say, as CEC, we are indeed very, very proud of what we are achieving today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sulawe, for those remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to give us a bigger clap. It's $200 million for 200 megawatt future investment in energy. As indicated, today was not possible without partners, and now at this point I'd like to invite the Securities and Exchange Commission to come through and give us their remarks. Thank you.
Good morning once more, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Minister, peers present, I acknowledge your presence, and indeed our partners, CEC. Firstly, I would like to say, Honorable Minister, that we are very thankful for your guidance. Without your guidance, and indeed the government's guidance, we wouldn't have been prompted to push for the issuance of the first green bond in Zambia. So we're really grateful that you are here to grace this momentous occasion. And Minister, the one thing that we want to echo out here is that for us, CEC has done it, and congratulations for being the first ones, but we are not going to stop here. We are hoping that with CEC having done this and proven to everyone that a green bond issuance is actually possible in Zambia, we are hoping that this will catalyze everyone else to come on board and do what CEC has done. And indeed for CEC, please do not stop at the 200 million. You've heard around here there's literally trillions that have been mentioned. Even for Zambia, we are talking about billions that we need for the energy sector. We need billions for mining, we need billions for this and that. But I know you're in energy. So please do not stop at the 200 million. We are there again to have the conversations where you came to us and said, we are issuing this year. And following on from that, we kept on calling, when are you coming? When are you coming? And indeed, finally, you came. And once more, congratulations. Thank you.
For Energy, Environment and Water.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. At this point, I will now call upon the Honourable Minister of Green Environment to Honourable Engineer Collins Nzobo to come through and address us this morning. Honourable Minister.
Good morning again.
Okay. So I have to keep talking.
PS, Chief Executive, CEO, various Chief Executives present here, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I think before I give you my remarks, I'll tell you that one of the most important issues we're discussing at this conference is the image transition. And I'm sure you are aware also that our country, our region is starved with energy. I'm also sure you are aware that in our region, the SADC region in particular, nearly every country is energy insecure. President Hakainde Hichilema just a few days ago announced his big ambition. 5 gigawatts in hydro, I think that challenge was successful. 10 gigawatts solar energy, I think another 5 gigawatts of wind. So we're looking at 20 gigawatts. And CEC, the model we managed to achieve or bring on board, I think is the best model. So congratulations for that. And I think we stand ready to support you. Thanks to ZESCO, thanks to ZIMA, thanks to the other institutions which made this possible. So I would like to inform you that the Zambian government has developed a green growth strategy, which is part of its aspiration to become a prosperous middle-income country by 2030. The green growth strategy is Zambia's blueprint for greening the economy and the environment by deliberately pursuing a development trajectory that is resource efficient, that is low carbon, that's climate resilient, and that is socially inclusive, basically a green economy. I'm happy to announce that I'll be launching this green growth strategy in the coming few weeks. One of the key objectives in the green growth strategy is to attract green finance, which is a critical success factor for achieving Zambia's green growth aspirations. The Zambian government, working with its key stakeholders, is keen to position Zambia as a preferred investment hub for green projects and green jobs. My ministry, the Ministry of Green Economy and Environment, has since its establishment relentlessly worked towards creating an enabling environment for harnessing viable green projects. For instance, about 2 years ago, the ministry provided and has continued to provide technical support to the financial sector regulators who will be promoting an agenda to mainstream green finance in the financial services sector in Zambia. As we speak, the government of the Republic of Zambia has put in place 2 regulatory frameworks that are being leveraged to raise green investments, and these include the Green Bonds Framework issued by the Securities and Exchange Commission in 2019 and the Green Loans Framework issued by the Bank of Zambia this year, 2023. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is important to highlight the foregoing achievements because the monumental occasion that we are witnessing this morning is a result of government's commitment towards a green transition. The Zambian government, with its public and private sector partners, have been collaborating in various areas to ensure that Zambia makes considerable progress in the greening and sustainability agenda. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as we prepare for this year's COP, we particularly agreed to collaborate and ensure Zambia was showcasing her best green projects. We agreed on ensuring that we send a strong signal to the prospective global financials and in essence position our country as a preferred green investment hub. There's no better place to send this message to the world than here at COP. I want to encourage all of us here to rally on with our collaborative efforts as these partnerships have today yield the positive results. And distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and to all you listening to me now, I'm happy to announce on this Energy Day at this year's COP, COP28, that Zambia has registered its debut green bond issuance through CEC, the Copperbelt Image Company, a listed company on the Lusaka Securities Exchange PLC, a bond for an amount of 200 million United States dollars. Another round of applause. CEC has been able to achieve this feat with an anchor investor in the name of Emerging Africa Investment Fund. In case you may wish to know, the proceeds from the bond will be deployed towards further solar generation investments within the CEC group, specifically CEC Renewables, which is an investment vehicle established by CEC through which renewable energy development is actualized. And by the way, CEC was able to achieve this feat because also they demonstrated before this bond that they're able to do it. I'm sure you remember there was a 1 megawatt, then a 33, oh, it was 33 megawatts, so 34 megawatts solar plant, combined solar plant, which was launched by His Excellency President Hakainde. So CEC demonstrated that they are able to complete this project, and therefore this $200 million will be able to help them achieve more projects. I think the gentleman from SEC aptly put it, that now that you have been able to do 34 megawatts, and now that you have $200 million, and now that the market is yawning in the region, I think the deficit is in many, many gigawatts. We encourage you to scale up your investments. The market is yawning. As we are here launching this bond, investors are listening to us. We can only assure you of our support, maximum support. CEC. SEC is a government institution. ZIMA is a government institution. PRB is a government institution. The Ministry of Energy is a partner ministry. So the whole government will be behind you to ensure that we are not only energy sufficient, but we are energy surplus, so that those dollars are able to be earned through CEC. What a day for CEC, what a day for Zambia. We are very proud of this achievement. CEC have done it. It means Zambia has done it. To all of the others, please, there's a blueprint already. Talk to CEC, and together as Zambia, we will be energy sufficient. In closing, I must end by wishing us all the best in attracting foreign for more green investments into the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for your support this morning. Thank you to everyone that has attended this session this morning. And just as the Minister has said, it is a proud moment for CEC, but it's also a very proud moment for Zambia. So this green bond is not just for us, but it's for Zambia. So thank you so much all for attending this event. And I will take this opportunity while on the stage just to hand over to the Securities and Exchange Commission, as this is the end of the day, and we will be having a panel discussion following this announcement this morning. Thank you. Thank you very much. Indeed, it is such an exciting day, and we will just have a very short panel And Honorable Minister, in case you have other engagements, we may leave as we go on. But I think it is important for us to demonstrate what this public-private partnership looks like and the role that the different institutions have been playing in order for us to be able to come and stand on this exciting day and announce a debut issuance of a green bond in Zambia. So allow me to quickly invite the panelists. I'll kickstart with the Managing Director for CEC, Mr. Owen Filangwe, and also Mr. Nondo Sichilima to come through. Okay, sorry. So we are going to have the CFO from CEC, Mr. Tarakuka. You can please come through. And we will also be joined by Mr. Jonathan from Prospero. So thank you so much for joining us this morning. And then we can start the conversation with CEC. I think it would just be good to hear from you in terms of what CEC is doing and how you have interpreted your role in the Just Transition campaign back home in Zambia.
I've got here, we have a multi-plan employees.
Thank you so much for the question. From a business perspective, we have definitely taken the transition to we believe that one of the key players in the sector, we should definitely pioneer some of the initiatives. So what we've done, if you look at the transition itself, we've looked at some of the generation plants that we have that produce a lot more carbon, try and see how we can significantly reduce the carbon emissions in that. So when you look at the GT and what we call gas turbine generators, these are diesel-run machines, and we are converting them to initially change the fuel source and introduce a combined cycle by introducing gas in the system. That in itself will significantly reduce the carbon emissions. But added to that, I guess we just launched the financing for some of the solar plants that we are generating, and we have an ambition to hit 250 megawatts of solar plant generation, coupled with some storage. And separately, we also have an ambition. We've been doing some feasibility studies on a wind project in Masaichi area, which is a 108 megawatts plant. So when you look at it from that perspective, we believe that in the short term, these projects will significantly contribute to the transition agenda for the country. And if you look at the overall generation capacity from the country perspective, over the next 4 or 5 years, we think that these projects that we are looking at will play a key role in the transition agenda for the country.
Thank you very much, CEC. I think it's exciting to hear what you are doing in ensuring that we transition in the energy sector to Zambia as an economy. I'm going to bring in Jonathan from Prospero. I think in some of the conversations that we've had, we've also tried to bring in the SMEs in the sector. People usually tend to wonder when we're talking about energy to say, how do the SMEs come in? You know, CEC is such a big institution, and people might be thinking when you talk about just transition, it only pertains to big institutions. But to you, Jonathan, could you just highlight and share with us the work that Prospero is doing in the energy sector, how we are interfacing with the SMEs and some of the challenges they are seeing, and how you try to leverage on the opportunities in the energy sector.
Thank you very much. And a big achievement. And I think what that does, back home, big players being able to scale up and make investments and compete with them. So as Prospero, we support SMEs at different levels. Those who want to scale up, and one of the areas that they want to and again, the pipeline of SMEs that are really play a bigger role in Zambia. The pipeline of SMEs that play a bigger role in Zambia is quite limited. So we try to build the capacity to be able to take up much bigger projects. And this usually starts with small grants. So we offer grants to SMEs that want to set up a microgrid in a rural area. Last year we worked with 3 companies that gave about £400,000 to set up mini grids in rural areas and then supply them power. So we are kind of putting them on the road and they can scale up things apart from that, I think one of the things that Prospero does is imagine companies that want to get the space. We provide technical support. So much bigger companies have come to us saying we want to convince investors that this is a viable space where we can use their management energy. And what we've done is offer them support in form of grants. Sometimes they just need consultants to allow the study. So we do fund such areas where businesses that want to build space are. And I think previously, we used to face a lot of challenges. Every year, Prospero carries out the staff different investors that are interested in starting. I think previously there were very few players in terms of investors who were willing to deploy that capital in Zambia to fund investment on projects. When we did this survey last year, I think 97% of investors were actually preparing for the energy sector, which is quite big. Previously, it used to be a big house. So this already shows that, I think the challenges that were faced in the past are being overcome, and there's a lot of policy pronouncements from government showing that, the space is open for investment.
Thank you, Prospero. Those are very progressive steps that are being undertaken. I know there's been a lot of conversation that's been going around bankable projects and the bankable project pipeline, and I think it helps to know some of the activities which are being undertaken to help SMEs grow that pipeline and grow themselves so that they can ultimately become bankable projects. Mr. Sichilima, from the Securities and Exchange perspective, yes, I think there's a lot that we're doing in terms of creating an enabling environment for raising financing. We have just seen that demonstration with the registration of our first WB bond. But I would like you to also just speak to the work that SEC has been doing with Economic Vision. That's a consultancy firm, I think that was met out of the last call. So could you just share some of the work that has been done there and how it's put into the energy sector?
Thank you, Leah. And since we're not going to stop saying congratulations, I think you have to get used to it. We're that excited. So once again, congratulations. And I think it's nice to speak after the CEC announcement today because it sort of brings it to life. What we talk about on these panels, through WhatsApp, the telephone conversations, all the other platforms that we normally get to participate in. So from a regulatory point of view, our role really is market supervision, which is what regulators are all doing. But the Commission sits with another mandate, which is market development. So the CEC bond issuers sits in a market development initiative for developing new and innovative products, and the green bonds is one of them. And it's really a fruition of us, first of all, ensuring that we have an enabling environment. So we issued a green bond back in 2019, and it's good that a few years later we are actually having a green bond issuance. And for me, I'm really hoping that we're going to have more. So in furtherance of that objective of encouraging people to come to markets, use capital markets instruments to access capital market instruments, to get funding which can then be deployed into the real economy, such as energy. Prospero talked about agriculture. One of the things that we did was we partnered with Chemonics to sort of do a study to identify what opportunities existed out there for green projects. Because the question they posed to us was what green finance opportunities do you have in Zambia? And it was a bit embarrassing, if I can say, that we were not able to tell them anything. So they said, okay, in that case, then if we come and partner with you, we do a small study to just identify where these opportunities exist in Zambia. So after a few back and forth, a few meetings, we eventually settled on renewable energy. And I guess it speaks to the theme that we are seeing even at this COP, even from what the minister talked about, the fact that we are an energy efficient country. So they did a study in that area and we were able to identify about 37 opportunities in the renewable space in Zambia, not talking about the region or anything, but just in Zambia alone. And what they did was they further went ahead and prioritize those projects. So the idea was to identify which project can be done, say, starting tomorrow. So none of these projects that were prioritized are sort of short-term to long-term, but they are projects that can be started as early as tomorrow. So what they did was they also were using criteria such as how robust is the regulation in that case, what are the factors that could stop it from being initialized. So from the tape, what you're able to see basically is it basically identifies the issues that are problems for us right now and converts them into opportunities. So one of the projects, I won't go too much because there are quite many. So one of the projects that we're looking at is waste to energy. So if you drive around any of our municipalities, the first problem we identify is garbage. So one of the key projects that we're able to identify is waste to energy, where the waste that is accumulating around the city can be collected and processed in a climate-friendly way, and then can be used to produce energy. Biogas was another area which was identified. There was also hot storage and so on. And the good thing about the opportunities that we identified is that these are opportunities that can be done by our SMEs. And these are, in terms of the outputs of this, then this can go to the off-takers, such as CEC or any other big institution. I hate ZESCO. So there is almost like a value chain, a business case for these SMEs to participate in the renewable space. But quickly moving on to, I think the challenge that we always have with SMEs is that what this has done is identify the opportunities, but of course there's a funding gap. So we are moving on from that study, and we are now beginning to try and identify how to bridge the gap between the SMEs that need funding and the financial, so that they scale out to reach the levels that we are seeing, such as being achieved by CEC. So, in closing, what that study really shows is that first we need data. We don't know where these opportunities are seated in Zambia. We just see a lot of SMEs moving from funder to funder, from bank to bank, from institution to institution looking for funding. But we also have banks doing the same. I think it was yesterday, Sanaku was sharing that they've got 8 million of funds, but they don't know where these projects are seated within the country. So one of the things that we're trying to do is make sure that we synchronize this data. It sits in one place,
where all of us can identify these opportunities and we move forward and implement, and we begin to achieve some of these transition agendas that we have. We begin to achieve some of the sustainable outcomes that we've been talking about throughout this sector. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think those are very important demonstrations of what public-private partnerships looks like, and also just highlighting how we are turning problems into business opportunities. So, of course, later I want you to just come and speak to some of the work that you're doing in the financial sector in terms of the streaming green finance. But just to quickly throw it back to CEC, after this data issuance of the new one, he said we won't stop talking about this. So what was the navigation like when you were looking at financing options with regards to you looking for financing in order for you to finance your projects? And this is also on the backdrop of the understanding that for us to be able to attain just transition, we are cognizant of the role that finance plays in all of this. And what we want to see from an action-oriented perspective is to actually see the flows of financing towards sustainable energy projects. So just here to share what your navigation will find as we're looking at financing.
So it was a very interesting fair. The specific point was that maybe I can talk about the bigger picture. The bigger picture is that generally infrastructure projects across the region are sort of done using some form of government support, whether it's a government or government undertaking. Now, what we have seen over the last 5 or 6 years is that most of the governments don't have the capacity to continue providing the guarantees that are required. Now, whether you are looking at it from the South African perspective, coming up all the way to East Africa, whether it's in Kenya and Zambia included as well. Now, from that perspective, we have seen significant reforms from a power perspective coming through all the countries, even at regional level. An association called the Southern African Power Pool. There are also reforms coming through to try and activate power trades to allow for regional trades, which can essentially start banking these projects that are being developed. Now, from a CEC perspective, one of the big issues that we've always had with our financiers is to say, how can we allow for financiers to look at the risk allocation very differently? Because we believe that risk allocation can be underpinned on a private to private sector without the involvement of government and government support. So how can they get comfortable and essentially look at an alternative supply in the event of default of number one, the fact that the industry is highly varied, so you have an option to go to another off-taker. Secondly, there is the market, which is the sub-market, which provides that alternative platform to sell power. And we are happy, I'm quite pleased that the financiers that came on board, essentially we came to terms with the risk allocation, which moves away from the traditional risk allocation that we've seen. And we think that with this milestone achievement, we are going to see more and more private to private type structuring of deals of this nature, which will now not require government to come in. Now, I'm talking about the energy sector, but really you can pick the principles and apply them anywhere else, whether it's rail, it's roads, or anything of that sort. So we don't need the governments themselves to get involved and do a lot more in terms of providing the necessary support. Now, the CEC thought process went further to say, okay, we've ticked this box. What is the next box that we want to tick? We could have gone further to just get straight financing, which is a green financing debt from one institution. But we thought, look, we've been a listed company for the business for a while now, since 2009. The next bit is, over the period, we have seen significant benefits accrue to the retail investors. So how can we allow the retail investors to continue to participate in the benefits that are coming from the business? How do we ensure that we are a bit more diversified, not just on the equity, but also on the debt side of things? And when we looked at the framework that we had from a country perspective, we thought that the ideal option that we had was essentially a bond. And thank you to the government, and thank you to SEC that the guidelines were very clear. Secondly, thank you that there were also tax incentives to the investors in the bonds, because there is exempt to withholding tax. So with that said, we thought, look, let's go to the market. We realized that the fact that this was the first bond that was coming to market, the fact that this was a bond that was underpinned under a project structure, it definitely requires sophisticated investors. And as a thought process, we thought we need to bring in a party that essentially can act as an insurer, because then they can do all the due diligence such that anyone who follows behind can get the assurance that these guys have done sufficient work to allow anyone else to follow. The fact that they are putting in their money, it means that anyone else can come through. And that is the process. That's how we ended up with EAIF, which is the Emerging Africa Investment Fund, backed by ABSA Group. So with that, then we said we needed a lot more Zambia participation. So we went to the Zambian institutions and said, can the Zambian institutions come in, participate? But more importantly, we know that once the bond is listed in itself, then we can allow for the retail investors to come in. If we look at it from an equity story, a CEC equity story, between the time of listing, which was January 2009 to date, we've paid close to $235 million in dividends. Now, most of that has ended up to retirees and retail investors. And we think that that is a very clear demonstration that when you make these capital market type investments, you can actually earn a return. And if you look at people who potentially have surplus cash in Zambia, we see that the investment options are rather limited, especially investments that are in a liquid currency such as the dollar. And we thought that this being a dollar instrument, yielding what I deem to be a decent return, we think that we should give the retail investors this opportunity for them to come through, invest, and make a return through the coupon payments. So that was really the thought process, and that's how we've ended up where we are. It would have been very easy for us to just get a straight green financing loan with one bilateral party, but we thought that would not be as exciting as we would want to be. We would want to participate and share the cake with a lot more parties. And then lastly, there is this issue around financial literacy and deepening the capital markets. As you see, we believe that it's only local institutions that will come through and play a role, partner with the government, partner with the regulators to deepen our own capital markets. And we think that with this one step that we've taken, we are moving the capital markets to the next level. We are hoping that others will come in to now help activate the capital markets more, provide more opportunities for investors to invest in, pension schemes, retail investors, and everyone. We see that there is a push for most of the retail investors to invest in government bonds, which is good, but we also think that the private sector can play a role by providing the alternative instruments through which individuals and pension funds and investors as a whole can invest in and participate in the economy of the businesses. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those insightful points. Interestingly, I think the mix in terms of looking at risk and the returns. I mean, there have been weeks where people think that when you invest in a sustainable green project, you don't get any returns out of it. But I think CEC has demonstrated, and we look forward to that call to action also to other local entities that the market is ready. And I think people just need to come, try it. CEC has done it, so let's all try and do our part in our local market to be able to make this transition a reality. I'll come to you, Prospero. A lot of work that you do with SMEs and also around financing. What is the landscape looking like? What are the bottlenecks there? Is there anything that you would want done to unlock funding to also go to the SME space?
Thank you. In the energy space, I think that I mentioned earlier, it's the fastest growing space in terms of where investors want to put their money. I mentioned about the survey that we do every year. So we deploy a survey to investors all over interest in Zambia. And again, last year was a better rise of investors. Almost 80%, 67% were interested in investing in businesses that do generating energy, mostly through solar. So again, I think the trend will go this way, it will keep on going. Again, we are very open to supporting SMEs to unlock these investments. To date, I think at Prospero from 2020 to date, we've managed to facilitate about $150 million in different sectors. This year alone, I think we are about $35 million that we've managed to facilitate. And again, our work is to make sure that we build stronger pipelines that are attractive to investors. There is a lot of money out there, but normally investors will come to that that are small fast investors. So we want to move SMEs from being small micro businesses, a business to graduate to much bigger business that can take big investment ticket sizes. So again, we'll keep on playing that role. I think the energy sector, as I mentioned, is a growing sector, and the need for energy cannot be disputed. We've seen an improvement as Prospero on the work that we do. So previously, when load shedding was at its peak, we give grants to SMEs that want funding from us. But usually for them, we use that capital as a challenge because they feel you are, I can't run this equipment that I buy and that I bought with the funding because there's no power. I think that's changing. Load shedding has reduced the risk. And again, for SMEs that were coming to us to ask for funds to set up solar systems, again, that trend has kind of reduced. That shows maybe a bit of stability in the power that is being generated. But again, for SME growth, I think power is also very important. Whether you are operating at the household level, selling freezes, or you are welding and doing chicken and whatever you're doing, I think the use of power is important. You use it at every stage of the operations. It definitely has a big push on economic growth, job creation, and that's where our interest is as Prospero. All the funding that we give is going towards creating jobs and making sure that SMEs grow. So again, we continue supporting SMEs in different areas, including those who come to us asking for money to set up solar systems. I want to give an example of Copperbelt. Copperbelt has solar panels on all their roofs. Prospero invested $400,000 in that solar unit through the ICP. And again, productivity was an issue for them. I mean, if you are in the beef and meat business, you want to have power all the time. And again, we are very open to supporting investments like that. Either through a grant, which is a small operation, but for much bigger operation like Copperbelt, we can facilitate the funding by giving money to the bank and business investors to the bank.
Thank you, Jonathan. I think this also goes to demonstrate how critical the energy sector is. I think it's quite key
in terms of also how it interfaces with the other sectors. You've spoken about agriculture, etc., and ultimately the economic activity in the country. Lastly to say, I think we've already demonstrated in terms of financing options, the option of green bonds, but maybe just also to highlight some of the work that is being done with regards to mainstreaming green and sustainable finance into the financial sector. And is there anything else in terms of financing options that people should look out for?
Thank you, Nina. You know, in the theory of regulation, regulators generally tend to follow the market. So the space that we are sitting in is an innovative space where we are constantly looking to innovate so that is then followed up by innovative products that we can then sort of make sure that they are safe for personally, they are fit for purpose in terms of achieving the objective of capital raising and this capital raising the economy, as I said, much earlier. So we've continued to do our work in terms of developing all these new and innovative products, making sure that we have an enabling environment for that. So one of the things that we're doing is we are participating in the Green Financing Student Working Group. And the whole idea of the Green Financing Student Working Group is to make sure that we as a country have suitable investments and financial instruments for our players in the market to raise funding. So we can talk about the debt instruments, expect outflow. So, and then we just had a green bond that was issued, that we announced this morning. So that speaks to the funding options that we want to make available out there to players. The other aspect that we're also looking at is in the insurance sector, was inevitably transition finance, climate finance, whatever you call it, comes with a lot of risk. And somebody has to take on that risk. So the challenge that we have as a financial sector is to develop suitable instruments, be it a capital markets instrument, be it a banking instrument, be it an insurance instrument that will enable SMEs such as the ones that are supported by Prospero to be able to come to the market and be able to raise funding, knowing that there's somebody who's going to take on any risk that will arise from there. Another area I touched on briefly is to do with data. One of the projects that we're doing as a Green Financing and Student Working Group is to develop a taxonomy for Zambia. So the projects that CC is doing, one map them is to show that this is where it's sitting in the real economy, so that when people are coming to look for data, they know where these projects are seated within the economy, and they know who is behind it, and so on. I'd like to close on finally on another key aspect that we are doing is to also address the issue of reporting. So CAC has issued this bond today. What the market should be looking at is there will be updates from CAC every so often, because capital markets, like I said, were very big on announcements. So what you should be looking at from CAC is a lot of transparency, a lot of disclosures in terms of how this bond is being utilized, because that's very important for the many investors that we that have invested, that are going to invest in this bond, and that is important for signaling to the world out there that when we issue a green bond in Zambia, we need business, and those disclosures will be quite critical. So there's a lot of work that's going around finalizing our frameworks around disclosures to do with sustainable reporting. And Zambia recently adopted the ISSB standards for reporting on climate change and risks that come from climate change. So we are moving in the right direction, and the Green Financing and Student Working Group has got so many work streams, but we are working towards ensuring that we are building the financial sector, and this is in response to the demand that is coming both from government as they strive to develop the economy, but also from the private sector as they strive to participate, to partner with the public sector to
to bring our country and also achieve economic development. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you so much to our panelists. I think just a final word as we wrap up. We'll start it from CEC. As we talk about just transition and this call to action, what is your final word out there? And then you can just move it along.
I think one call is that Zambia is ready for investment. There are various reforms in the energy sector that are going through. We have a new Act, the Electricity Act, as well as the Energy Regulation Act of 2019. Everything put together, you see that you can now have a private-to-private sector bankable PPA. We just like to invite other investors that Zambia is ready. The policy framework, policy direction of the government is very, very good. Everything is pointing to Zambia needing more money, more investment, more private sector FDI to come in and participate in the growth. There are definitely returns that come with investment in Zambia. From a CC perspective, we are definitely one of those players that are ready to make the investments. This 200 million that we are raising will definitely go a long way in addressing the energy transition plan that the company has come up with. Between now and 2027, we see ourselves actualizing the plan that we have for the planning period. Thank you.
So Prospero, I think we are very much ready to play our role in the investment ecosystem in Zambia. We understand the landscape very well. We know the challenges that SMEs face for them to interact with investors. We continue to offer technical support to SMEs that want to raise investment in Zambia. For those of you who are aware, every year we host a summit where we bring SMEs and the big investors. That will continue to happen. We continue conducting our survey on impact investment in Zambia to get a better understanding of how the landscape looks. Just like CEC mentioned, I think in the energy sector, everything is favorable. I think the forest environment right now in Zambia is very conducive for investment in the energy sector. And for SMEs that are much smaller, and again, we offer support in different forms for them to graduate from being smaller to much viable businesses that can take up bigger ticket sizes of investment. And again, the SME landscape looks very well. The SME policy, I think, is progressing very well, and that gives a lot of guidance and confidence to running businesses in Zambia. And also, I think the cost of doing business is also rather reducing slightly. And I think we should continue happening like this. And again, favorable environment for SME growth in Zambia. We continue providing support to SMEs. Again, those ones related to climate change related projects, again, 20% of our budget that we spend every year has to go to climate change programs, including energy, and so we support the government's agenda on energy transition.
I think for me, my call to action is let's do it. I think we've done a lot of talking over the past few years. 2030, which is one of our targets, is not very far away. So a lot of the things that we need to do need to start happening now. Once we get back to our homes, we need to actualize the promises that we are making at all these forums, and start taking deliberate actions to achieve whatever we want to achieve in terms of transition financing, energy resilience, adaptation, whatever it is that we drive our passion on a day-to-day basis and makes us stand up for work every day. I think we need to start doing that now. As the regulator for the capital markets operator, our signal out there is that we as the capital ready for you. Whatever your problems are, for us, we're just looking for an opportunity to turn those into opportunities for us to bring the financial sector and ultimately to contribute to the development of the country. So let's do this to everybody out there, and we'll see you back home in Zambia. For those who are not from Zambia, we are waiting for you to come and visit us, and we'll take you to where these projects are within the capital markets. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Does the audience have any questions? Okay, thank you so much. Another round of applause for our panelists. And I will hand over to Rose to just walk us through what the next program is. Thank you so much.
Just making it about 12:30. We'll take a short break of about 15 minutes while we have our chiefs take a bit of refreshments, and then our next session will include the chiefs and the energy sector. There was a nice program that was rolled out yesterday involving all the energy sector partners. So for the time being, we'll just take a short refreshment break for 15